The entire world, Nick Gibbs. I mean, everybody. I'm talking about there's no exceptions here. Everybody cares what's going to happen to Nvidia tomorrow after the bell. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow after the bell? Anything special? Do you think they'll beat whatever the street thinks the number should be? What will happen with the stock market if they beat or they don't? Anyway, you know the thing. You're my CNBC guest. You know the story. Yeah.
I think they're going to beat. I think they're going to report a good quarter. I think they're going to have good commentary of China. And yep, demand's very strong. Good forecast.
Good forecast. So everything's going to be good, and the market is going to go to the next level.
Um, Probably not because of Nvidia, but Nvidia will prevent anything from selling off.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. Tom Lee says the market is just at the beginning of the bull. A couple of other major guys that I think are pretty smart think that the bull market has got lots and lots and lots of legs left. And you think?
As a market, I would agree, but I don't think all companies will participate.
Oh,
But regardless, a rising tide does lift all boats, and there's really no signs out there for pessimism, I would say. And at the same time, there doesn't seem to be too much greed either.
oh,
So yeah, I would say we're looking good as a market.
all right. Okay. Well, listen, on Sunday morning, I don't know if you had a chance to watch my video Sunday morning, but I know you do watch them from time to time because you actually comment on it. But on Sunday morning, I put together a list of 10 items, and I asked Grok for his opinion, its, whatever opinion also. And uh, and these
Nice,
were the
Jen.
items, these were the items that absolutely guaranteed that Tesla was going to be going up and to the right pretty much from here on. And I know that you have teased on X today that you're going to reveal the date that Tesla will get to 400. So we'll
Well, I can't tease that anymore, Randy. I
you
can't
can't
tell anyone.
you can't tell anyone.
I can't tell anyone anymore.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I in the post I made it very clear. If Randy's not at 15,000
Yes.
subscribers
Then you couldn't
by
give
the time I'm on here, I'm not telling you guys when. So I don't know. Maybe we'll live check it update, see if
it.
you happen to hit the 15,000. Maybe we can talk about what I think. But I don't know. And maybe I'm just feeling gracious, and I'll tell
Generous
people
and
today.
gracious anyway. Yeah, okay. All right. So anyway, I had these 10. I've taken off a couple of them, not because they were wrong, but because I wasn't as invested in those because they were more like Grok's ideas than my ideas. But let's go through the 8 real quick and see what we think is going on. So number one, I think by a lot, was Elon Musk saying in response to James Dama, version 14 will be 2 to 3 times better than a human. I feel that is at least tied for, if not the number one reason why the stock is going up and will continue to go up. Because Elon's going to make not gonna, he can make a lot of statements like 2 weeks or 4 weeks or a month, but no, this is a quantitative statement that he's making, which he kind of has an obligation to not be kidding about.
I don't. Randy, this is where you and I are going to diverge. I
Uh-oh.
don't think Elon's comments are going to be anything that actually moves the markets up. I think his comments would move things down unless he made a comment like, hey, new vehicles or we're launching in this city next week, unless it's something like that. As far as these numbers, I don't think they move the markets. I don't think that's what's moving the markets at all right now.
All right. So I put down 3 subcategories. Maybe this will help you understand my position.
So we got 10 topics, three subcategories, section two, volume C. Okay, let's
And
go.
that's not even part two. So anyway, so we've got, so if it's true, and I can't imagine that it's not true. So we know that he's looking at version 14 right now. He's driving version 14. and he's getting feedback from other people that are driving version 14. And they've also got stats that they're getting from version 14. So again, I think it's got to be true. Well, then when version 14 comes out, it's going to sell more cars because it's going to be really, really, really good. It's going to sell more FSD because people are going to just jump in, try it out, and they'll go, oh, that works. And it will also help to sell regulators. So you get 3 for 1 if based on this statement that he made.
But how do people find out about FSD, Randy?
Well, if you go on the website right now and you
How do
go,
people know to go on the website?
oh,
How do people
so,
know?
so advertising is important, but I'm talking about the investor class who's paying attention.
But that's not going to sell vehicles. That's not going to sell FSD. You said it's going to
Oh, I see.
sell more vehicles. I don't see how that happens if there's no advertisement, if there's no knowledge sharing of this amazing new version of FSD. Uh, it's it's criminal, in my opinion.
Not to advertise it. Okay. All right. Okay. I agree. By the way, I think he should be advertising. There's no doubt about that. All right. Well, we don't necessarily agree on number one. Number two would be the rate cuts that the Fed has not made yet, but which everybody and their third cousin agrees is going to happen when the Fed meets.
Um, wait, so what's your point on that?
Is that this would cause the Tesla stock to go up, and the fact is, nobody thinks this will be a one cut of a quarter point all by itself. Everybody's looking at 3 now by the end of the year. You said you thought it would be 50 basis points in September.
But, yeah, but is your point that that would help sales or that would help the stock?
Help stock and sales.
Okay, I don't think it'll help sales
Oh,
because Tesla already essentially takes care of rates for people
well
when
then
they
it helps.
buy.
Well then it helps
So
margins.
okay, that's fair. So, but that helps the stock,
Mhm.
not sell cars.
Right.
I'm just trying to make sure that we have two different things here. I don't think cutting rates will help the stock or it will help sell cars at all, especially if people don't know about the current rates that are out there in the amazing FSD. If you don't know about it, how can you buy it? How can you know about it? You're uninformed um, populace out here. Uh, I do agree with the stock market. I think lowering rates creates a appetite for more investing, for more money flow, for just I mean, yeah, you get more circulation, you get people who have more disposable income. Yeah, self fulfilling prophecy, and I think this time is not like last time, and it's definitely not inflationary. I keep hearing people say that.
Right, right, right. Are you still at 50 basis points for September?
Yeah, no reason to change it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Number 3 reason why I think that it will move the stock, why the stock will continue to go up is because of the new IRS ruling. This is one that I would say is equal to my number 1 is the new IRS ruling means that we get the fourth quarter too.
Um, I think any benefits from that will only okay. Again, as far as the stock goes, any benefits from that will only be realized at the end of October when we hear on an earnings call any kind of demand they have, or if we really substantially start to see wait times.
Mhm.
Um, I still think that's incremental. I don't think it's going to be that big of a needle mover.
Mhm.
Um,
Larry,
for the stock,
Larry Goldberg put it at 50,000 units.
okay, but that's nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, that's 10%. When we're talking about 500,000 vehicles, that's 10%. Like, okay, like great, but we're supposed to be, in the millions upon millions by 2030. So
Okay. But we were talking about a rocky fourth and first quarter. Now we're talking about a fourth quarter that will probably be substantial.
yeah, no, that I agree with, but I struggle when people try to flip the script and be like, "Oh, it's not going to be that bad, ergo bullish." It's like, no, if you say it's not going to be that bad, that just means it's not going to be that bad and that painful. That doesn't necessarily speak to bullishness. I think there's other reasons to be bullish for Tesla. not that, because all that's going to do, Randy, is create creep, which means we'll get into the first quarter. And to the first quarter, we're going to have lower vehicles, and people are going to say, oh, well, that's because, the EV stuff's over. And so that's how they back quarter. And then yourself and others will say, well, no, it's the first quarter. It's always lower. And we're going to get to this whole thing, and the stock's going to be down. And we're going to be sitting here where we're like, oh, we'll have to wait until the second or third quarter, really know. Or, oh, and then we have a new vehicle. Well, it takes time to ramp up. And we're going to have all this noise once again for a whole nother year.
I'm talking about the stock person today we know there's a variety of attention spans for these different people, and a variety of different depth of their understanding of the markets and understanding of Tesla. And some are going to sit there and go, oh, this gives them the fourth quarter. This gives them 50,000 more vehicles. This is a reason. One more. I remember there's 10, it's 8 reasons to do this. I'm saying that this is one, and I think it would be one of the stronger ones because a huge, according to some people, it's still all about the cars. It's not even about AI, etc.
Yeah, but you must be one of those people then. If you're going to sit here and say that it's one of the stronger reasons.
I'm saying that I believe there are people out there that think that way. That's not, I have to look at it for the entire, I'm not just playing my own game. I'm not playing my own bet here. I'm saying, as an analyst of where the stock is going, there's a group of folks out there, maybe it's a third of the investing public, that's in Tesla, that is still paying a lot of attention to the number of cars that get sold.
I don't know. We'll have to agree to disagree. I think there's barely anyone who even cares about that is actually in the stock. The only people that care about that is the media, because it's headlines. That's it. I don't think anyone else cares about it.
Okay. Number 4, energy increase. I think our best quarter ever was 11 megawatt hours. We were 9.4 or something, I think, in the second quarter. I'm thinking it could be as high as 15 in the third quarter because of the uneven thing that we're going through. We were uneven low, so we have next quarter could be uneven high, plus the additional product being sold out of Shanghai. Maybe it's only 14, maybe it's only 13, whatever it is, it's a lot higher, I think, than quarter 2.
You set me up for to be the mean guy today, Randy. I don't think energy moves anything. I don't think energy's ever moved anything for Tesla stock. I don't think anyone who is not in Tesla stock cares about energy right now, and that's not a reason why they would get into Tesla stock. I think if that was important to you, you've been in it, and I think it will not move the stock $1, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. Number 6, this is your specialization, technical analysis. So well, it's why we have you on the show. We wouldn't have you on the show if it wasn't for your technical skills. I know you don't make your bets a ton on technical analysis, but you are skillful in this area. And we had a breakout from the 238, which was, I think, your call, among others. I mean, you weren't the only one calling that. And this was a multi-month wedge and triangle consolidation with bullish engulfing candles, high volume, and targets at 350 to 400 after that, potentially reaching 500 by year end, says Grok.
Who says Grok? I've been saying that since the beginning of the year.
Well, that's what Grok, I know, me too, but that's Grok.
Grok's copying me.
Okay, so was this breakout important? Is 248 beating 248 tonight on strong up and to the right? Is that important? 348?
348. Is it important? Yeah. What's going to be more important is sweeping like around 258, 260. Huh?
3?
Yeah, 358, 367. Sweeping those areas, that's going to be what's more important. If we do that, we have pretty much a direct shot to 400.
Okay. So getting above 338 and now getting above 348 on a strong close, what do you think happens next?
Well, it was a somewhat strong close, I would say. It was more of a close. it was a close lifted by the S&P at the very end. This is not like it was just Tesla. Tesla had a very strong day on Friday last week.
Right.
And granted, it did okay today, but you would have thought it would have had a much bigger move given the expansion of the robo taxi geofence area in Austin.
You think that was a big deal?
I think it was a big deal. I don't think the stock market thought it was a big deal
Right.
yet.
Okay.
I think the stock market tends to lag, I think, when it comes to pricing some of the stuff in. But there's a lot of undercurrents going on that I don't think a lot of the people in the Tesla community pay attention to. It's what drives me nuts. Let me go off cuff here
Sure.
for a second. It drives me nuts when people talk about all these things that are happening with Tesla and all its good news and everything, but fundamentally nobody's looking at who's buying and who's not buying, right? Like you can literally go and watch what all of the option flows are, and over the past couple of weeks, you've been seeing huge swaths of call options being bought at the money by big money.
Mm.
And that shows you why we're moving up. But it's got nothing to do with all these little things that you see from Tesla, this or that, or Elon said this. It has nothing to do with it. It's buyers and sellers. It's that simple. And right now, there's big buyers coming in, placing money, taking bets. And that's why it's moving up.
But the big buyers who coming in placing bets aren't doing it without some kind of a fundamental or a technical reason for doing so.
No idea. I
Yeah,
can't
so no.
I can't tell
Okay.
you why.
Yeah.
There's no way I can know that.
Right.
It could be insider information. It could
Mhm.
be they like the way a chart's setting up. It could be they think it's oversold. It could be they are excited about robotaxi. I have no idea why.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
irrelevant why. What is relevant is that we know that they're coming
They're
in
doing
and
right.
they're buying big sweeps of calls options.
Got it. Got it. All right. Well, I'm going to continue with my list anyway, and then I'm going
Go
to let
ahead.
tell
Yeah.
me the other. I'm going to let you tell me the other reasons. So I'm saying that Elon's activity, which apparently you will not think is true, but I'm saying that the fact that Elon is extremely active right now, both, I mean, everywhere. He's back to how he was before. He's showing up on podcasts. He's showing up all over X with all kinds of commentary here and there. And he's also doing a lot of promotions like the FSD, I'm sorry, the vehicle bundles, the new FSD video on the website, a bunch of quotable quotes, very, very active, very, very visible, and almost none of it's political, except for England right now.
Yeah. I mean, we have a good week and a half of Elon right now with commentary, but that can cut the other way immediately. And actually, last week it wasn't exactly great. The whole comment about the Model Y long
Range, yeah.
extended, whatever it's called,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
that didn't exactly. That was a bad day
yeah, it
in the
was.
market.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's like his comments are. No one, I don't think, is actually making any decisions based off his comments other than bots that are out there. And they tend to be for negative reasons, not positive reasons.
Okay. And then finally, Model Q, I think the reveal, it to the extent that we still get it in September or early October, will either only be for Berlin or might be for Berlin and China, because I believe that China and the US are going to be sold out to the end of the year, and they're not going to have space in the factories to make them.
That's interesting. Um, I think that's a, I think that's a valid point. I don't know if I think it's correct though. I mean, they've clearly been designing a vehicle,
Right.
and I imagine part of their forecast. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, they delayed it intentionally because they want to get as much 3 and Ys out there, right?
Right.
That's interesting. I mean, that could be a negative catalyst, honestly.
Well, I see it as pushing again. My theory here, my overall theory is The Model L is selling like crazy in China right now. We've got some evidence that maybe the L is sold out to the end of September already. So that bodes very well for the fourth quarter in China. You've got US, I think, will easily be sold out because of the change in the IRS rule for the rest of the year. But they could introduce it. They could still show it to us, but only actually start producing it in Berlin, which is the soft market. And that could give them a boost in Berlin and still get the sellout in China and the US. Now you go into the first quarter, which is traditionally slow, which I used to do all the time in my business, is when do I want to introduce my hottest new product? When I think the market's the slowest. So I hit that in the first quarter and I get a nice boost for the first quarter. So all that rockiness that we were expected in the fourth, first, and second quarter might get smoothed out by this one little change in the IRS.
I've had a chance to think.
Okay.
I do not agree with you.
Okay.
I'll,
You're
I
fired.
mean, who knows,
I mean,
right?
we got Trump in office right now. I have to fire you, right?
Fire me. Fire me. You can't fire me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Regardless, all orders and down payments have to be done by the end of September.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
Once, Seinfeld reference, you've taken the reservation, you can hold the reservation.
That's true.
That would be silly not to go ahead and launch the new vehicle and start taking immediate reservations of those.
Oh, I see.
You would be better off having a stockpile or a wait list than not. And so I think you'd be better off saying, hey, we took your order. Maybe you don't get it till December. Maybe you don't get it till January for the 3-year Y. Who knows? But we're going to start the new vehicle and we're going to start taking orders for that.
Gotcha.
And it, if anything, it helps soften the transition from one to the other, I think.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Either way, it works out well. So it's good.
everyone, yeah, you know it. You want to take down payments.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want down payments. You're not going to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of those people probably weren't like chomping at the bit anyway. So if it takes them a little while to get it. Yeah.
Exactly. And it doesn't hurt you at that point, right? After September, if you're going to use the 7,500, you're going to use it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to use it on the new vehicle. And you're not going to back out of your 3-year Y unless you're just going to give Tesla free money.
Right.
Because you have to put a down payment. So,
ooh, but wait a minute. You just had a good idea. What if they introduce it in the United States? What if we reveal it now and they use the $7,500 deal on the new vehicle and take orders for those as well?
I mean, I feel like I thought about that before.
Okay.
But I think the new vehicles are going to be
Osborne the threes, huh? And the S's.
well. I think the new vehicles are going to be very low on margin.
Yeah.
As it is, and the $7,500 credit doesn't help Tesla.
Yeah.
It helps the end consumer.
Right.
So you want to
get as many Ys and
you want to protect your margins for as long as you can.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure these new vehicles are going to be very low margin.
Could be. All right. Why do you think that the market, why do you believe that, and you have a date apparently, or a rough date when you think the Tesla's going to hit 400 and you think it'll be 500 by the end of the year? Since most of those don't fit into your idea list of the reasons why, what is motivating you to think it gets there by the end of the year? And the 400.
I think because of what we're going to see with the rollout of FSD, I am optimistically giving.
I left that out. Number 5, iterative moves in FSD and robotaxi. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There you go. You finally said one right. I think I'm trying to be optimistic and give Tesla and Elon team the benefit of the doubt. And I'm speculating that they are waiting for version 14 before they do a full out campaign for FSD.
Got it.
I know everyone's excited about they put it in the configurator. It's sure good. It's there. How about you put it on the damn front of the web page when you get on there? Like, how about like that? How about you just
Yeah.
hit it in people's face when they get on there? Like, it's
How about a
everyone's
couple
freaking
million
out about
dollars?
configuring.
How about a couple $1 million on X worth of advertising?
Forget about X. We got college football starting. We got NFL starting.
I'm
Like,
agreeing with you. It was kind of a joke. He's going to spend it on X where Elon can make money.
it's just insane to me. It's insane. I would understand if the product had issues or
Yeah.
if it was still a beta. I don't think it's a beta product. I really don't.
Oh, it's working.
It works. It's not a beta product. No more so than, I don't know, your phone is a beta product. I don't know. Like, it's real. It works. It works extremely good. It has a very, very low failure. I don't have incidents. I don't have issues with it. I don't have interventions.
Right.
The only time I take over from FSD is if I want to park in a certain spot, or if it's going too slow in the parking spot, or if I'm going to a drive-through or a car wash.
Right.
If I forgot my water bottle and I just want to take over and I just want to circle right back around the block, and it's because I'm not going to put that into the nav. Like, that's when I take over. But go back to the stock. I think going into the end of the year, the expansion of FSD is going to. I think people are getting ready for that. I think a lot of people are people, institutions, and big investors, just wealthy people who have a lot of money. Like Nancy Pelosi of the world, right? I think a lot of people are starting to layer into Tesla, they're getting their positions set because of what's happening. I mean, one, you can just see the way that stock looks in the charts. And again, I don't do technical analysis. I don't. But you don't have to be a technical analysis person to look at a chart.
Right.
All right. And you can see it. And you can see you got higher lows and lower, or higher lows and higher highs. And we're being very constructive. We're going up and up and to the right. And so clearly, this is momentum. This is money coming in. Tesla's also the only company that's essentially not at all-time highs. It's lagging right now.
Right.
While at the same time, they're the only ones that are still, they're the ones that are keeping Nvidia afloat as a company, right? Like what, something like 20%, 25% of all of it, what Nvidia does, it goes to Elon Musk. So people are aware of it, and they're starting to see robotaxi expand. That they're seeing, apparently Australia is about to get it, New Zealand. We're seeing all over Europe, people testing it, California. I mean, so they see what's happening. And I think people are getting positioned for a big possible move.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all it is. It's that simple. It's no more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do with energy. It's got nothing to do with something Elon will say. It's very simple. FSD expansion, more surface area, more vehicles, robotaxi. It's no longer 2 weeks. It's no longer, I think, at the end of the year. It's here. It's happening. It's rolling out. Now the question is just how fast will it roll out, and when do we see revenue, and is this a winner take all market?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if it's not, this goes either one of two ways. It goes one of two ways, Randy. It is either Google.com and the next competitor is Bing, or it's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. It's AWS, Azure, GCP.
Yeah.
It's Netflix. What else is out there? Netflix. I mean, I don't know.
Prime.
It's
Prime.
Netflix. Prime. Yeah. Right. So it's like all these, if you look at every big company, tech company, you essentially have three players.
Yeah.
All of them, period. Or you have one monopoly, right? You have iPhone and then you have Android, but only one takes all the margins,
Mm-hmm.
right? So people are signing up for that. Robotaxi will be the same. It will either be winner take all, or there'll be two or three players and they're going to be small. And I think we see early signs with ride hailing. You have Uber and you have Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's Uber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Uber.
So
Yeah.
I think people are positioning themselves.
Okay. All right. Well, that would certainly fit within my earlier uh, estimate that we would be back to all-time highs 2 weeks after the institution of robotaxi is taking
Oh,
way longer than I thought.
yeah. I guess one last point.
Yeah.
So again, I don't consider this technical analysis, but depending on how you have your whatever you use to look at charts, you can set up something called volume profiles,
Mhm.
and you can see where there's been accumulation historically. You can see where there's these tranches,
Mhm.
and once we pass about 358, it's pretty much clear selling. There's no volume all the
Right.
way to 400. So we should, like a knife through butter, be able to get up to the 400s. So, and I anticipate that happening at some point. It's in September. We get to 400 is
In
my
September.
guess.
Okay. Okay. By
Uh,
the end of September.
I obviously can't give you a date.
You
I
can't.
think a month is a pretty generous sticking your neck out there. But yeah, I think in September we see 400,
And by
and
the
then
end of the year, 500.
barring any
Right. Right.
random
Sure.
androgynous thing to come in that I can't foresee.
Right. Okay. All right. Gold is at all-time highs. Bitcoin fell off the charts about 10% and is kind of recovering today. And Nvidia, we get that tomorrow. What are you paying attention to? Just Nvidia? Are you paying attention to gold? Are you paying attention to Bitcoin? What else is impacting your thinking right now?
Um, whatever I've trades on. Let's see. I have trades on AMD, Meta, Nvidia, Palantir, and obviously Tesla.
Okay,
Uh,
bunch of techies.
yep. So those are where my attention is right now. I put on a new position today on AMD, um, and I have positions on Nvidia that'll probably close out tomorrow before earnings.
Hmm.
Um, Meta, I actually just went from being short on Meta to now I'm uh bullish on Meta. I
Hmm.
think it's come down enough,
Hmm.
and yeah.
All right. And so you're not it's probably a preference, not necessarily a an analysis, but there's a rotation taking place according to everybody. Do you think the rotation lasts? Are you going to be are you looking at any of the stocks that might benefit from the rotation, or are you just going to stay in the stuff you know?
I again, I just what I do is I have my own criteria of what I look for,
Hmm.
and if my criteria is met, I don't really care what it is.
Ah, okay.
It could be Walmart, it could be Johnson. I don't like pharmaceuticals, but yeah, as long as it meets certain criteria, I'll trade it. But yeah, I don't know if there's a rotation per se. I mean, if we still look at it, Nvidia, Palantir, maybe not so much Meta, but I mean everything's pretty much still at all time highs. I mean
Hmm.
SPX keeps just grinding
Yeah.
higher and higher. I know it's off of its all time high,
Yeah.
but it's still at all time high. Like we're splitting hairs at that point.
Right, right. You mentioned a few weeks ago, we argued a few weeks ago about the housing prices. We now have housing prices coming out this morning again, as they did last week, and the housing prices seem to be settling in at about a 2% year over year, which would be great for the CPI and PPI or CPI and PCE. Um, Tom Lee says that the spread between treasuries and mortgages is about 100 basis points higher than it usually is. So there's an opportunity for mortgages to drop even without the 10-year going down. Do you anticipate a turnaround for housing in the third or fourth quarter? We had the surprise winter sales a couple of years ago. Do you think we see another surprise winter this year?
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm in the southeast, so I think a lot of this can be pretty regional.
Yeah.
Like I think if you took out the northeast, you would see that housing's down across the board, but the Northeast is what's keeping
Right.
things up.
You'll be right.
So I might be biased, but I think we're getting to a stable spot on housing. And I think that by spring, summer of next year, I think we'll be past the worst of this. I think we're starting to trough out on the, what I've been saying for what, 6-8 months, maybe a little longer, that housing's been coming down. I think we're starting to trough on that. Now, that's not to say that you don't have lag effects.
Sure.
The Northeast tends to lag what the Southeast is, and the Southeast tends to be a precursor for the rest of the country. But I think we're starting to kind of see an inflection on that. But I don't know. It's probably too. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's too early for me to have real confidence on it. But I actually heard the stupidest thing the other day, Randy, and I'd love to share it with you. There's this guy. He's got a pretty big YouTube channel. I would call him out on it if I could remember his name. But he was saying that despite the fact that that housing has come down so much, and his whole dialogue was about how prices have come down, how certain markets are just getting crushed, all that. He does not think that will have as big enough of an impact on inflation, and that once they cut rates, it's going to spark inflation again. If that's your line of thinking, let me just let you know right now, you don't understand how the market works. CPI is dominated 60, 65, 70% by housing.
No.
Housing.
I'm sorry, I'm going to correct you there. It's around 30 to 35%. So yeah, about 30% is actual housing, and then another 10% is housing. What do you want to call it? Down the flow from housing, like buying stuff when you buy the new house, that kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So call it
It's
35,
huge,
40.
but it's
whatever.
Huge.
Big number.
Yeah, right.
You're right. Big number. If housing comes down,
right,
it has a huge impact.
Right.
And housing has huge lags when it comes to CPI because of how they do it.
Right.
It's weird how they do it. They do 1 month, and then 6 months later they take that month and they average together, and that's the number they use for CPI. It's ridiculous. So that's one thing. Obviously, housing come down would have a big impact. It's an overweighted part of the CPI.
Right.
But then also to insinuate that lowering rates will create inflation. This is such a gap in knowledge for some reason. Is it true that we raise interest rates to help deal with inflation? Yes. But that doesn't mean that when we lower rates, inflation comes back. The whole point of raising rates is to slow the economy down. And in slowing the economy down, you slow down the turnover of money. And so people can't spend as much because things are more expensive. And that essentially puts a brake on everything. When you bring rates down, you're not necessarily injecting money back in. You might make it easier to lend and to borrow, but it takes time for that money to get around. I think a big thing people don't talk about enough is that the reason we had inflation was because we gave dollars straight to individuals, and those individuals went on Amazon.com and spent every last cent.
And we printed the money to do that.
And we printed at the same time, and we kept printing despite we had a 7%. It was not crazy. 7%, 8% inflation. We were still printing.
Yeah.
It was wild. Anyways, I saw that and just want to give my point of view on that. Maybe he's right and I'm wrong, but
no.
My point of view.
It drives me nuts almost every single day. I see people that continue. They've heard it from Powell now. They've heard it from multiple members of the cabinet. They've heard it from major people yeah, of course, but Tom Lee and others. These people that are, I would consider the cream of the crop in terms of understanding this stuff. That the tariffs will not create inflation. That they are a price, they're not inflationary, and that yes, it's possible that if after you do tariffs and tariffs and tariffs, at some point, if the wage expectations go up because of prices going up, you could see a beginning of some kind of a inflationary trend. but it doesn't cause inflation. It is a price. And like your point, the same thing is true. People having this idea that there's any other way to actually get inflation other than printing money or or decreasing productivity. There are no other ways to actually get long-term inflation.
A mutual friend of ours, Randy, Mr. Larry Goldberg, he had a interview recently with Art Ladford.
Effort, yeah, it's a great
You
interview.
might have heard of that guy.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He has a good kind of practice where he'll take an idea and he'll extrapolate it out to the limit to see if it's cogent. Right? Does it withstand fact? I guess you could say. And if you do that with tariffs, if you think about it, people talk about, okay, Trump put these tariffs on, or any administration puts these tariffs on, right? And then all of a sudden you get people screaming, oh, that's inflationary. Okay, let's assume it is. Let's assume that's the case. Well, what if you put a 1,000%, 2,000, 50,000% tariff? What would that do to the economy? Well, that would halt the economy.
Right.
Because people wouldn't be able to afford anything.
Right.
And if you can't afford anything and you halt the economy, you don't have inflation. You just can't afford anything. Everything comes to a halt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what raising rates do. So it kind of doesn't, like, if you take it to the limit, it doesn't really make sense. Or again, or it's a tax, right? People say it's a tax on American people. Okay, well, if I tax you of all your money, Randy, well, what do you have left to spend? Nothing. Ergo, you can't have inflation. So either taxes are inflationary and we should get rid of taxes.
Yeah.
Or tariffs are not inflationary.
And if it's a tax or a price increase, people are flexible enough to make new decisions based on those taxes or those products inflating. People make new decisions about what they're going to buy, what they're going to spend their money on, or not spend money, put it in savings. People are move out of cities entirely because of some new tax or because of some new regulation. So yeah, there's a dynamic that takes place. It's not static, it's dynamic. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that the latest one was, I think it was Walmart. Yeah, it was Walmart that said 33% of their goods are imported. I was surprised it was only 33%. 33% of their goods are imported. They will have an increase on only 11% of those due to tariffs. So 11%, 33%. That's nothing.
And yeah, and it's probably very, very strategically done.
Very strategic. They said product by product.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but to your point, that's why I've always been. I'm sure there's probably someone who can convince me otherwise, but I've never heard of a good enough reason. But to me, consumption tax just is the most, call it equitable, call it whatever you want, but it's the fairest way to tax people would be a consumption tax. And the beauty of it is anyone that steps foot on our country for any reason, they are paying into our system. Right now with the income tax, that's not how it works. And yes, we have sales tax and all that, but that doesn't touch the federal government. That's at a state level.
Yep. Yep.
In a consumption tax, to your point, at the very least, Randy, your taxes that you have to pay to the government, you get to make, you have a hand in the decision on whether or not you buy that car, you eat out at that restaurant, you buy that water bottle, you buy that bicycle. You have the choice, not the obligation. And at least that empowers you as the individual.
Yeah, well, that would be an entire 7-hour lecture that we could do together on consumption versus charging people based on their earnings, because there is this saying that the more you tax it, the less of it there will be. So you don't want to tax earnings because you reduce the incentive for people to earn. Makes zero sense. I'm sure Mr. Laffer would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I got one last thing. So we talked about inflation. Let's talk about the other side. That's labor. Are you hearing anything in your environment? I know you hear a lot of stuff from the techie world. Are you hearing anything out there The one thing that's being talked about is the entry-level jobs, especially in the tech world, seem to be going away. Is that what you're hearing? Are you hearing anything else?
All right.
Okay, good. Yeah.
This is a hot one for me.
Okay.
I think there are two worlds out here right now when it comes to AI. Okay. And look, I know people are going to try to roast me in the comments, but go for it. This is what I think. This is what I observe. I'm in the tech world. I'm working with other companies nonstop. And I'm of the opinion that there is really, really good marketing on the fact that AI is doing all these things and taking all these jobs. I'm here to tell you, I'm one person, but I've been on with Herbert and Brian, and we've done this live, and I've made these same comments. I always tell people, refute me. Give me an example. Show me one thing. Show me one LinkedIn profile. Show me one thing where anyone's saying, oh, AI took my job. Show me one.
Mm.
No one can ever show me anything. For some
Mm.
reason, Randy, I can't ever find all these jobs that AI is displacing or taking.
Mm.
They must be hiding from somewhere. Like, I don't know where they are. It's just like all these people who are American citizens being deported, can't seem to find them. You
Mm.
can't seem to hear anyone
Yeah.
complain about it. Don't know where they are, but they're
Yeah.
there. They're all over. I'm of the opinion there's a very good marketing kind of propaganda machine, media machine talking about the displacement of all these workers, all these junior employees, and all this. And I'm here to tell you my opinion is BS.
Mm.
It's BS. Is it possible a company will hire one less engineer
Mm.
because their other 300 engineers are more productive than what they were 2 years ago? Yeah,
Mm.
100% possible. And is generative AI, is a chatbot going to take over your HR department? Nope, not happening.
Mm.
And I would argue that might be like the easiest thing that AI could possibly do, and it's very, very difficult.
Mm.
It's not happening. AI, as we know right now, and I've had this pinned for a long time on my X profile, it will be a productivity booster. It may reduce the amount of new job openings a company has to have.
Mhm.
It may make a crappy engineer into, hey, he's not that bad engineer. It might help people get a little closer to those 10x employees. There will be productivity boosts. There will also be people who get their work done more efficiently and faster and then get to be lazy as they normally were anyways, but now they just get a little more done and they don't have to procrastinate as much. The answer is it's going to be in the messy middle. The only thing that I see that will replace humans will be robotaxis in the near future. I don't even see call centers going away.
Mm.
Okay. You guys all look, I was on a flight. Well, we were talking. I got stuck on the tarmac from Delta leaving DC last week. And even then, it started off with a voice assistant, and then it immediately couldn't handle it. It had to take me right over to a human. All right. And this is Delta we're talking about. Delta's the airline in the entire world.
Right.
Do you not think that they're trying to find ways to save costs? Do you not think that they would have as much, resources, all these big Max 7 companies? Do you think between, all the tech companies that they interface with that
Mhm.
are in there trying to sell to them, do you not think that they're doing everything they can to help them with their call centers?
Right.
And even they still have humans in the loop? It's not replacing people.
Mhm.
It will be additive. It will help people. They'll be more productive. You might have fewer job openings in the future, like I said, because you can get more done.
Right.
But like even Elon has said, even humanoids won't replace their jobs. People will be managing fleets of
Humanoids.
humanoids. Even Elon has talked about this. So I don't know. Maybe in 2 decades, in 15 years, I don't know. Right now, today, next year and 2 years from now, the only thing in the next 5 years, Randy, where I see that you can unequivocally point to me like, yep, AI took that person's job,
Drivers.
driving.
Okay.
That's it. It's the only thing I see. And I'm in this every day.
Right, right.
And go look on LinkedIn, please.
Yeah,
Someone start
no,
blow
yeah,
me up, make me look like an idiot. Go on X, subscribe and like, and then do the same with Randy. But then make me look like an idiot on X and show me all the people like, hey, look, this person got displaced. This person got displaced because of AI. Because of AI. Even Microsoft, who laid off 10,000 people a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
even they said, yeah, no, that had nothing to do with AI.
Right, right.
And they do this every year. All these Max 7 companies lay off about, I don't know, anywhere from like 5 to 15,000 people a year. It's normal.
Right.
So sorry, that's my rant.
No, good. I like the rant. That was, I didn't even know that I was going to be setting you up.
What are you hearing out there? Like what?
No, I'm not. My hearing is all from reading. It's nothing to do with touching reality. I don't touch reality anymore. I have to go through, hundreds of articles a day in order to do what I do. Maybe hundreds of articles a day. And in the hundreds of articles I'm reading a day, the only place I'm seeing it, which is not different than what you just said, it's entry level positions that are getting soft, not gone, just soft. And at the beginning of the summer, they were really concentrating on the fact that it was university grads who are having the hardest time they've had in years getting that first job out of university. And I'm thinking to myself, you're supposed to get that job way before you graduate. You're waiting till you get out to go look. What are you, nuts? Anyway, so but
That's
but by the end of summer, that's going away. I'm not seeing that headline anymore. But I still
that's
have
also
the entry level
not
job. Yeah.
just an AI thing. That's also a I think there's a cultural issue with Gen Z right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really smart, hardworking ones out there, but I feel like too many have whether it was going through school with COVID or just growing up, with a smartphone in their hand 24/7 or social. I don't know, but there's a inability to make eye contact, to
Yeah.
speak to each other,
Mhm.
to collaborate. There's this like everyone's depressed and anxious, and there's almost like a rot in the system. And it's not all of them, obviously,
Right.
right? Like I'm being extremely generic, generalized here, but I can imagine that a lot of people aren't being hired because, well, when you interview someone, you got to be able to shake their hand, make eye contact, be confident, sit upright, like do some research on the person that you're interviewing with. Like you got to be likable. You got to be able to connect with people. People hire people they like. End
Yeah.
of story.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people with Gen Z are saying, I've applied to 100 different companies. People don't get hired that way. You get hired by knowing someone, by making a connection, by gaining an introduction, right? I wish someone would have told me that a lot sooner. I was lucky. Coming out of college, I had 8 different job offers, right? I was lucky, right? That that wasn't like everyone's experience, but I was overly aggressive. But had I known that I would have been better off trying to get introductions and meeting people, I would have saved myself so much effort.
Yeah. Right.
Even
Right.
after I graduated, I was trying to get other jobs.
Yeah.
Like I started realizing that, oh, I have a friend who works here. Oh, he's making how much?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to figure out who. And I'd be sitting there trying, like, hey, I've been trying to apply. Like, how'd you get in there? He's like, oh, I'll just give you a lady's name. I'm like, oh, you can do that. I just couldn't figure that out for some reason. But so I think it's that plus like we were talking about like people are being more productive, but in general I don't think that you're going to see AI take everyone's jobs today or tomorrow or really anytime soon. I think everyone's going to be fine. Technology tends to create more jobs,
Right.
not less.
Right. Right.
And I think again, if you take things to the limit, like we were talking about before,
Mhm.
if you had to name the top 2 companies when it comes to AI in the entire world, Randy, what would you say they are?
Tesla and XAI.
Okay.
I'm just playing. But okay. Microsoft and Google.
Okay. Microsoft, Google, Tesla,
Yeah.
XAI,
Yeah.
maybe Nvidia.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are all the reports of them laying people off because of AI? And they're
Yeah.
the top companies,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
No, they're hiring.
They are hiring. They're all hiring. So, Randy,
Only Palantir isn't hiring. He did say in an interview recently, he said, we're going to increase our sales next year, but we won't have to hire to do it. But he didn't say they were laying off, but he said they wouldn't have to hire.
I could go on a whole thing about Palantir. They are a brute force company
They
when
are,
it comes,
yeah. All right.
like, people are going to hate me for this. They're a professional services company. That's what they do. They're professional services.
Yeah.
They have their secret sauce, but they're professional services. They're a system integrator.
Yeah.
They're a Deloitte from Silicon Valley, is the way I see it.
That's
They
right.
have secret sauce. They have their process. They have some IP, but that's what they are, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, the top AI companies in the world are hiring.
Yeah.
So, and you're not seeing these massive layoffs from these companies. You saw more layoffs in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
2024, 2025, the only big announcement of layoffs you've seen was Microsoft,
Yeah.
which was their normal annual rift.
Right.
So, if I'm the crazy one, show me the data.
All right. Well, we'll show you the data now. Let's take a look at where Tesla is right now at the end of the day. Well, at the end of our program anyway, not necessarily the end of the day. Tesla is now up in the after hours, another 30 cents after being up $5 on the day, a total of 1.55 so far for the day. After being up yesterday and being up Friday. So this is kind of a nice thing. We're at 352, call it. We're short 2 cents of that, but it's close enough. So 352, and we've already given all of our thoughts about, I think, where we're going from here. So let's go ahead and look at the bonds.
And just real quick, and I think tomorrow will probably be another green day.
Another green day, okay. Based on what you're looking at?
I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
You're just guessing, yeah.
I'm shaking my magic 8 ball.
Well, one thing, of course, is when you see this kind of momentum, we are seeing some momentum here, but that's also, there's always an end to the momentum, right? So you never actually know. The 10-year, we're back down to 4.265. It's up at almost a full basis point in the pre-market. But I sure would love to see that get but you already know this about me. You know I want this to get under 4. So, any thoughts on whether you think there's any movement on bonds, anything coming up that will cause the bond market to finally rally, at least the 10-year?
It'll be interesting to see how all this settles out with the Fed, and if Trump gets kind of a majority. I think that's the only thing right now, other than data that comes out between now and the next meeting. I don't think Jerome Powell's scheduled to speak again. So
we have
at
a
least
chance.
I'm aware. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, today was all about, that's all that the financial media was talking about was whatever her name is. And
Yeah, I know. It was
is she going to work? Is she not? Is her pay stop? She's saying that she's going to push back, but at the same time, she has not yet once given a rationale why she would have 2 primaries.
Or even said that she doesn't, or anything, nothing. Yeah, just this is wrong.
Look, everyone always has a chance to explain themselves.
Yeah.
And what happened, but so innocent to proven guilty. But if you don't have a cogent, rational explanation that you can even give the public, in my opinion, as a Fed chairman, if you are guilty of this, the punishment should be higher for you.
Higher, yeah.
Yeah. You're in a position of you more than anyone know what you were doing.
Exactly, 100%. It's like a lawyer. Schiff comes to mind.
Yeah.
Tisch comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. They're both lawyers, and they have a higher standard as well. All right. Now I've been a little unclear about your understanding. and I don't know if you've looked at it recently. So oil is sitting at 63.43 for Texas Intermediate. Is that a good enough price to at least keep the wells open? Or do they need to close more wells at 63, or would they be drilling and opening wells at 63? Where's the slot right now?
At $63,
Yep.
wells that already exist, but they can go back. So there are wells that they will have gone, drilled, ran pipe, pulled, and then they plug them back up. So they cement the wells back up. It's a lot more cost effective to go back to these wells and unplug them, so uncement them, and try to extract more oil. Maybe you do kind of a fracking method where you just start drilling horizontally to extract more oil. That's way more cost effective than doing a net new well.
Mm.
And so at 63, what they're going to do is they're going to go back and they'll try to exercise old wells where they've already done all the work, where they already know historically there was oil there. The problem with the net new well is you don't know if there's going to be oil there.
I see.
All right, you're taking a gamble.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't just go to a new well, like especially like all the big real reserves, which are out in the Gulf of America.
Yes.
With the Gulf of America, you go out there, you do an exploration. Well, first there's a seismic vessel that goes. They're like, hey, we think there might be oil down here
Yeah.
based on
Right.
the topography, or they send radars and lidars, everything down. They say, like, hey, it looks like there's might be oil here. Then you send another vessel that has to go, and they're an exploration vessel, and they will go and they'll drill to see if there's oil, and they'll do core samples, and they'll just try to figure out how big the well might be or not big. Half time it's a dud. Half time you find a nice big, well full of oil.
Right.
And after that, then you have to bring another vessel that will come and actually drill and do extraction.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of R&D, if you will, to go out there, a lot of investments you have to outlay, versus going back to a well we've already pulled from, let's unplug it, run some pipe, try to extract more.
Right.
So at 63, you're going to go recycle old wells. You're
Gotcha.
not doing net new. I mean, maybe you're still trying to keep a 10% flow or 15, 20% flow of new wells going, right? Because you got to think this won't last forever, but you're drastically slowing down. 63 is not good.
Okay.
70, 72, 75.
That's when you're
feeling comfortable again.
Okay. Natural gas. I know that there's a price for natural gas where the oil companies like it to be so that they can sell their blow off or their, the natural gas that they would otherwise have to just burn. I thought I remembered that was something on the $2.50 level is where they like it to be. Right now we're at 275. I just don't, but I haven't looked at it in a year probably.
Yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable when it comes to natural gas, but for some reason your numbers sound familiar to me.
Okay. All right. We've got gold, as I mentioned, all-time high again, 34.40, going up 780 more in the pre-market. Where's gold? What's going to happen next with gold? Are we going to just keep on going up and up? Now the dollar went down, of course, so that's part of it, but
let me see. Let me look at gold.
Okay.
I think we're probably gonna keep going up.
Okay.
Especially, yeah, I think we're gonna keep going up.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Maybe we'll put a trade on this tomorrow.
Maybe you will, huh? All right. A lot of momentum there. Okay. Finally, see, we have Bitcoin. So back up to 112. It was down like 109 this morning. Back to 112. So that's, I guess, good for those folks that are in Bitcoin. Your thoughts?
I don't have much thoughts on Bitcoin, to be honest.
Are you still seeing it as a leading indicator for tech? I think you said that a few weeks ago.
Well, let's see. Bitcoin's obviously off its all-time high, not by much,
9% or something.
right? Like, yeah. So, but if you look at like, I don't know. Let's look at Meta. If I look at Meta, Meta is about 10% off its
Okay.
high.
Okay.
Palantir is about 20% off its high. I think Nvidia is at an all-time high.
Not too
Yeah,
soon.
Nvidia is at an all-time high essentially. Like $3 off. Yeah, I think Bitcoin's still a precursor, good indicator of whether Bitcoin leads or tech leads one way or the other. I think Bitcoin tech roll together.
Together. Okay. A quick one. Tom Lee, of course, is heavily invested in Ether. He's got his new company that does Ether as kind of the way that what you call it, that other company does Bitcoin. Can't think of their name right
MicroStrategy.
now. Huh? It's what?
MicroStrategy.
MicroStrategy. So, do you think that Ether is going to be the better play long term? Have you thought about it? Are you paying any attention to it?
I think Michael Saylor is a very, very smart guy.
Okay.
And I think Tom Lee's a very smart guy. I haven't looked into what Tom Lee's doing.
Okay.
But when it comes to what MicroStrategy's doing, I think it's a house of cards.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't know. Either he's extremely smart and I just can't understand what he's doing, or what he's doing.
It's a house of cards.
Well, it could only work so long as Bitcoin keeps going up.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see what happens should Bitcoin have a pullback.
Yeah.
And it doesn't recover to all time. Like, what happens if Bitcoin has a moment like Tesla did,
Mm-hmm.
where Tesla hit all-time highs and then it was flat for 5 years?
Right.
Well, MicroStrategy is going to have notes due.
Yeah.
It's going to have essentially payments that you're going to have to make,
Right.
because they're essentially borrowing a lot of money. So, but at no interest rates. So I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Okay. All right. The equities tomorrow are flat to up, but they're up. They're flat up. So 0.07, 0.08, 0.12. So call that what you want, but not very much, but slightly up. So what do you think about that? Momentum going to carry through tomorrow for the are they going to it's all going to be about Nvidia tomorrow. What are we thinking? So are they going to be are the markets, the equity markets, going to be buying into the beat? Or will they wait? And will we have another relatively flat day in anticipation of the earnings?
Yeah, today was kind of a sneaky day.
Yeah.
Today was an extremely flat day.
Yes, until
Like, as flat as you can get
just about.
until the last hour. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and then last hour, half hour, it was like boom.
Mhm.
So yeah, so don't let, like, if you see what ended today, like that was not the reality of what today was.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I don't know. I could see Nvidia I could see it being flat all day for Nvidia
Mhm.
until the closing hours.
Same
And I
thing.
could see, something, yeah, something similar. But I do think the whole market is kind of waiting to see what happens in Nvidia, to see if, yeah, there's just a lot been Meta has stopped hiring supposedly for AI,
Yeah.
not laying people off because of
Nope.
AI.
Nope. Not
They've
happening.
stopped putting out
Right.
NBA, NFL type contracts for
Right.
people.
Right. Right.
Um, the irony.
Yeah.
If AI is so good, why do they even need those people? Why can't AI just do what they're doing? Um, so, and then Sam Altman had his comment. And so I think people are kind of a little nervous to see what the numbers look like with Nvidia,
Mhm. Mhm.
to decide, like, hey, Is there a pause industry wide or what? I don't think so. I think they're going to print good numbers. I think it's going to be strong. I think there's be demand. I think they're probably going to have some optimistic things to say about China. Yeah, no, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yep. And there's no
I
other
won't.
news.
You haven't heard anyone else say this. Wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia hits 200 by the end of the week.
Whoa. Okay. Remind me next week.
Just right. All these times, I say all these predictions.
I know.
Remember,
I know. I've heard
no
that.
one ever says these things, and then all of a sudden, oh, everyone's saying them now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Nick, that's about all we've got time for today. We got a rocket ship to go watch. So in
Oh
about
yeah,
we're
still on?
recording this at 7:15 Eastern, and the rocket's going to go off at 7:30 last we checked. So we'll get off of here so we can go find out whether the weather is good today and whether the all systems are go. And we'll probably wait to put it up until about that time, until about the time that the rocket has made it into orbit, and then we'll drop this video. Anyway, it's been great as always talking to you guys. Thanks, Nick, as always.
Cheers.